Emotional damage.
Welcome to the show.
Oh, what's up, guys? Welcome back.
Love just yelling at you guys, man. I know.
It's so loud, too. I'm like, oh, man.
It's way louder than it sounds, I'm sure. Because that makes
100%.
sense, right?
Yeah, we turn, like, Anthony edits that specifically so it blows speakers
Yes.
and computers.
Or just get rid of it
headsets.
all
And they're
together.
like,
It's
we
like-
don't want
Yeah.
to listen to that anymore.
Never again.
That's why we'd...
How's everyone doing?
All right.
All right.
It's a good
Anybody
week.
would scream. Oh, I'd complain, but who'd listen?
Dude, what's that funny thing? You just said something about the button on your underwear or something.
Oh, and somebody's like, so... Then it's like the old guy, like, so, buttons on your underwear.
Oh, that's funny, man.
Benjamin's
Yeah.
button on the underwear.
Benjamin Button. Speaking of that, I guess we're gonna go over the debate since
Yes.
everyone's over it.
Yeah.
And when I say over it, probably over it because it was terrible.
Yeah,
That's my impression.
My impression
Terrible.
of it is I'm over politics in general.
A lot
Yeah.
of people feel that way this time around, like more
Yep.
so than I've seen.
It's
Before.
just to a point, like, Jesus Jesus
Christ,
Christ, dude, you
Jesus
know?
loves us.
I was like, dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
Like,
bad.
one of the comments I saw was like, you know, I can't afford to buy groceries right now, but these two dudes are arguing about golf. What is happening?
That was
Yeah.
that's funny you went into that. I think that the golf thing was just hysterically unprofessional. I mean,
Yeah.
it literally like Trump was doing so good. I thought for him,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then he just suckered into
He
it. He's
was-
like, "No, my golf numbers are
way better than you can ever.
billions and millions better."
way better than
Have you seen this guy on the field? Have you
He's
seen
on the
him?
handicap.
He's on the
I
handicap.
saw him on the blue cone.
I will say though, that
Oh.
Biden was not lying about his handicap.
Oh, JoJo got some good
he's
stats.
he's
man.
got a 6, dude.
He's got
I mean,
his
that's-
swing
that's-
going on.
And I don't know
Okay.
when the last time he's played. It's obviously got to be a pretty long time ago.
Maybe
Yeah.
like 4
But,
years.
but still.
Oh, and Joe said something about. Did you see? He said, "Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll take you up on that, and you're gonna have to carry your own bag. So we'll see how that works."
Yeah, we're
I
gonna
thought
play
that was
against each
funny.
other. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess he
Okay.
doesn't get.
Well,
a
like
caddy.
when you play in a PGA course, you don't have
right.
like a. I think
Caddy.
some of them you do, but
Yeah.
well, I mean like a golf cart though. I
Oh
don't
no,
think,
no,
I
you
think
have caddies. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
You got caddy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying though,
Or a roller.
you roll it. Like a
A
lot of guys that
rolling
play.
Or just carry one for the whole course.
Or
Yeah, I just play the whole thing with a driver,
Yeah.
putt
Yes.
with it,
That's
chip
why
with
they
it.
say it, man. Par for the course.
Par for
You
the
just need a
course.
par.
That's all you need.
That's cool. A pitching wedge. I don't know why I thought that was a par, but
Yep,
that
that's
is
par,
a
yes.
pitching wedge.
Probably doesn't play golf, and that's okay.
I don't.
Eagles all day long.
Eagles, America. Okay, so you want to get into it? What, Anthony? What do you think? I think you started that little chat for us where we were going over it in real time. So I ran over my computer and popped it up.
Mhm.
What really stood out to you? I know you named something about the Palestinian thing.
There was a lot. So the debate. This was the first debate we've seen since the last election, of course. Whatever,
Since the
right?
last debate.
It's the last debate.
the last election we've seen.
What's the last one since the election?
The
was?
last one,
The last
right?
time
I tell you
since
what.
2000, whenever.
It showed to the general public
Yeah.
the decline of Joe Biden.
Yeah.
The actual decline. You know, people
Yeah.
were talking about it here and there, but they were just saying, "Oh, he's just busy," you know.
I
Sleepy
have
Joe.
had
Yes.
like discussions with
Yes.
people I know that they're like, "Nah, he's fine." And I'm like, "I don't think he's fine, dude.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't think he's fine." They're like, "No, he's
He's
good." And I'm
he's
like,
Mm-mm.
just a lot
"I
on
don't
his
think
plate.
so, dude. But you know,
Yeah.
it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?"
He's senile.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
seeing that
Yeah.
last night, or
Mhm.
what was it, night before last night? Seeing that,
Yeah, 2 nights ago.
it showed that he can't even debate somebody aggressively. He can't even respond effectively. I mean,
Unless you talk about his son.
oh, exactly. Then he gets all angry with
yeah.
that own thing, right? But
Yeah.
it showed a lot
Yeah.
about the reason why a lot of things in the world's going on. If you
I
think about it,
can-
you know, like the strength, the backbone. Because if Biden acted like he did when he was vice president with
Oh my
Obama,
gosh. He was so kind. I guess support. He was a good wingman.
yeah, he was perfect.
But my
Yeah.
God, he can't fly solo.
No, he can't. No, it was insane.
all.
Yeah, without the support, and it's like right
It's like,
now. I don't
speaking
know.
of that, dude, like, has anybody heard or seen our vice president?
I did
Mm.
right after the debate. On
Right.
CNN.
She did support him in that last little commentary, and said that he's not that great. Whatever. But basically he's fine.
You know what my
She doubled down.
my brother had said that they're going to keep Biden in. And if he wins the election, he's going to step down. Kamala Harris is going to move in. And then they were like, he's just going to appoint, like, he's going to appoint Barack Obama as vice president.
So
And then step down, and then he'll be president again. And I was like,
Oh, no.
I think a mailman's
Yeah.
in line for presidency
so
at this point.
I did hear about the two candidates who apparently there was some sort of campaign manager meeting. There was a hedge fund leader that's over this campaign for the Harris Biden. Anyway, supposedly Harris is like completely cut out of it. Supposed, but I mean CNN was reporting it, and so was MSNBC.
Yeah.
And there's these two other gentlemen who I don't know very much about them, but that they're really eyeballing. Ironically, that you said Obama. Very speculative, but someone's mentioned Michelle Obama.
Oh, yeah, that's been talks for a few
I
months
actually
now.
saw that this morning.
Did
There's
you?
actually a voter ID for someone to vote for found with Michelle on it.
Okay,
So it could be something that they're playing in their heads. But
as a possibility.
Yes,
Okay.
I think it's going to be what's his name, Gavin Newsom.
Exactly, that's one of the guys. Yeah.
He's horrible. Yes, that would be.
That's
horrible.
the guy that's like Canada that we were talking about,
Justin
he's,
Trudeau.
He's like Trudeau,
Trudeau.
Yeah.
but he's the
That guy, man.
He's California.
Well, you have no rights with that guy.
No,
None.
but I
Let
think
him
they
in
might
and
push
nothing.
him for the Democratic Party. He would win.
I don't think that
Easily.
Biden will. Personally, I don't think he'll step down. So I don't
He'll be
think that. I don't
forced.
think that's a factor. I don't know if he could be forced or not, man. I don't think they can do it that quietly. I really don't. I
Well,
think
they're
there's so
they're
many.
trying to strong arm it. Apparently, this is not speculation. So they had the panel on CNN after. I think you watched that too. Maybe you put that in the group.
I did. I
But
watched.
there's
that.
like 10 of them, and
Yes,
a lot
I
of
watched
what they do is pre-polling, right?
Mhm.
And they said that they've never had. One guy said, "I've been doing this almost 40 years.
Yeah.
I know we haven't had cell phones for 40 years, but he said my phone has never blown up like that. People are
Yeah.
panicking. High people in the
Mhm.
administration
Yeah.
are panicking. People who are in the cabinet were
Mhm.
supposedly panicking. And the idea is, did you see the guy? Is his old, not Speaker of the House, his media speaker. What are they called? The guy,
House
the
Press secretary.
press secretary.
Yes.
Thank you. He saved me. He
guy
came
that
in. He's like,
talks to
I
the
love
people."
him.
People talker.
I love him. He's a good man. But this was
Oh,
a
that's
test
what's his name.
today,
That's
and
what's
he
his name.
did
That's
not.
I remember
Pass
that.
the
that
test.
he's been working for Joe Biden for a long time.
Yes,
He
I
loves him.
remember that guy.
But there's no
Yeah.
way. So they said if he does not step down,
Mm-hmm.
that it's lost.
Yes.
And then I was kind of convinced that he would. And then, I mean, I'm just reading it, right? The campaign manager came out the next morning, and she said he is not going
Stepping
to
down.
step down from this. It is going to continue.
Which is crazy.
That's
Is
insane,
that
man.
still what's her name?
I have no.
That black lady? That's the press secretary? Is that her?
That's not the
No,
same
no,
person
they're
as the
talking about
campaign.
the campaign manager.
campaign
Oh,
manager.
yeah.
Yep.
She had said I remember this might have been a few months ago, a few weeks ago, I don't remember. I do remember seeing it though, that they were asking what his cognitive state was, and she's like, the
Oh, that's
president's
great.
in the best shape of his life, and I
Oh,
was
I
like,
guess I remember
86
that,
years
yeah.
Oh,
old, dog.
okay.
Dude's
Yes.
doing 5Ks, bro.
Yeah, he is.
5,000 milligrams of Xanax or something. My
Yeah.
God.
So what they typically it's like Ritalin
That's what I meant. Adderall.
is like or Adderall
Yeah.
that they probably fed him. I just
Something that's like legal meth, kind of.
personal side of things, I have my opinions on it, but I feel bad for him, dude. I mean, I really do. It's to some degree, he's not fit
Mm-hmm.
for that position, and I think he should be like just chilling in Vermont, dude.
He should.
Watching
He
his
should be
horses
retired.
and-
Yes.
And
Get his
you had-
dogs,
Looking at his
and just-
Corvette.
Yeah.
You had
Shit
said
Jay
something.
chilling.
Anthony had started something. I was kind of holding it so we could go through that and transition to it. I don't remember what it was. But I guess I could say this since I'm spaced out on what we were going to say. That
God,
This
I wish
is
you'd
kind of-
say it.
this
Just- I
is
just
so.
wish
I'm gonna
you'd say
keep.
it.
I'm gonna keep
Please.
doing this. That's like what he did, right? He's like, all right, listen, guys. The deal is,
You know what it is.
All right, hold that thought. So there was this comedian that I saw.
easy.
There's this comedian that I saw, dude. And I can't think of his name. And
Gillis.
No, it wasn't him. It's a
Sandler.
Spanish dude.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, one thing, man, I don't like about politics is politics remind me of my mechanic. He's like, my mechanic scares the shit out of me because, he's like, you take a car in for something. He's like, look, I can fix this, but I got to take the whole thing apart from the inside out. I don't know if you saw, but this last guy really fucked this up. So
I gotta fix everything.
it's going to cost a lot of money to get this done right again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just like, holy shit, dude,
Wow.
Yeah.
So that reminded me of that, though.
That's a good.
That was good, man. The mechanic thing. I gotta see it. It's probably really funny. So
yeah,
the Ukraine thing, I just want to step into there because obviously that's something I talk about a lot. I asked my wife. We were talking about this thing, and her concern is with Trump, right? Just full disclosure. Sorry, Mr. Trump, former president. I just think he's a jerk. I like a lot of the things that he has done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the way he does it. I don't like the way that he politics. I thought, am I wrong, that his demeanor is probably the best we've ever seen.
Yes, I was very surprised.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was also very surprised at the panelists themselves.
Yeah.
I feel like it was very fair.
Dude.
I was shocked.
They were both like versus like this
last
previous election, dude. I
Yeah.
mean, they were
It
giving him
didn't
the
seem
business,
right, man.
dude.
Yeah.
And then
And this time they were like,
and they said,
cool.
all right, Mr. President, no matter who it was
Yeah.
it Biden or him? Okay, next. And they literally would look away from him to
I
the next
noticed
guy.
that.
And it was,
They called him
it
president,
was
and I'm like,
serious.
that
dude.
was crazy. Yeah, I noticed that, and
So they were all, I felt like they were, for once, well, I say for once, but for once that I've seen it overtly, I felt like CNN was fair.
Yeah.
And I was like, finally, we need this balance. Anyway, the Ukraine thing, one of the things that my wife was concerned about is that Trump's saying he can end this war. So immediate, which to what cost to Ukraine? Like,
Yeah.
what are they going to have to lose? What terms are they going to have to come to? And I feel that pain clearly. But I told her, I said, if it is negative, if it is like, even if it's, I don't want to say that part, but basically if, I don't want to be too drastic here, but if it's really negative and it doesn't favor Ukraine, but we still get a leader who is strong, I would prefer the leader that is strong.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we can't take care of others if we ourselves do not look strong. And I don't think we're taken seriously. And he said it over and over. Joe has made us a mockery. We used to be respected, and I think so.
Yes.
Now, were we respected through bullying or not playing politics the way that a lot of people like?
Yeah.
Probably. But we were strong, man. And you don't usually poke bears, whether it's a good bear or a bad bear.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I don't like our choices here, but
I don't think you ever will, man.
Probably
I think
not.
that's politics. I don't
It
think
is.
you
Probably
ever
not.
will. I don't think there's ever the perfect person.
or even close, yeah.
unless you get like a Kennedy back in there.
I mean, it's
For how long?
Exactly. You only get him for a year.
Oh,
Jesus
Anthony's-
Christ.
yeah, I think it was longer than
I don't know.
someone's history, man.
But to what you're saying, I don't think you'll ever find the perfect fit. I
won't.
think that there's something wrong with everybody. Something wrong with me. Something wrong
yeah,
with you.
so-
Something wrong with
absolutely.
you.
There's
We've
a
all got
lot wrong with
flaws.
him, man. We both pointed at the same time.
There's a lot of flaws with everybody, right?
Yeah.
So, like, no matter who's in office, there's always going to be some sort of opposition. There's always going to be, well, he's a piece of shit, or he's
Yeah.
a criminal, or he's done this. And that's both sides of the spectrum. Problem is that we have all lost our ability to sit down and have a discussion about stuff that we need to talk about. It's nowadays, it's like,
Bickering.
we're going to protest, or we're going to bicker, or we're going to do this, and we're going
Whine.
to kick and scream until we get our way, because there's no compromise anymore. Like,
Bully.
okay,
Silence.
you guys
Yeah.
want to do this, that's fine. But in return, we now get this. We don't have that anymore.
This
It's
30,
all,
30 seconds, go. Stop. 30 seconds, go.
Yeah.
Stop. Where is that?
Yeah.
We don't have that anymore.
No, we don't.
No.
And I don't know why. So, I guess we're all kind of in that whole, like, Trump. Okay, I did notice something. Yeah, everyone's going to say, well, his mic was off, and they had to cut it off. There was only, like, maybe one or two times that I saw Trump speaking past the time he was supposed to after the mic was off. Usually he'll continue and turn
Yeah.
to his opponent
Yeah,
within
it was,
earshot and say
one
something.
or two times at
I
max. Yes.
I saw it maybe once or twice.
yeah, he
And he didn't look rude. I mean, the golf thing, the Palestinian, he said you're a Palestinian and
a bad one at that.
exactly. Like just not he fell into the trap of
well,
his
I mean,
ego
like, full
again.
disclosure, I
You thought that was funny?
Oh, I did. No,
Everyone
no, no,
laughed.
no.
Trust
no.
me.
Thank you.
Whoa.
Thank you for trying to derail my life.
Sorry.
Appreciate you.
We'll give you his address later.
So, but I had turned on the debate on my computer, not just like live debate,
Yeah.
and I'm like watching this, and I'm like, damn, dude, like they're talking about COVID and masks again.
Yeah.
I watched 20 minutes of the 2020 debate. I'm like,
How did you not
wait,
figure it out,
what an
man? Joe was
idiot, dude.
coherent there and like
I
far and
know.
back
Well,
at
he
him.
wasn't.
Oh,
I don't
really?
think it was. It was the same.
Really?
It was like so. It was like I sat there for the 10-minute countdown, and then 10 minutes in, I'm like, "Ah, son of a bitch!" And I wound up finding. So I got to the actual debate
Yeah.
later. So,
So-
when I
yeah.
started texting
Yeah.
about it, that's when I
Oh
started.
yeah, that's when I jumped on too.
Yeah.
And I rewatched the beginning.
yeah.
So
But actually, so one thing I noticed a lot is Joe lied a ton.
a ton.
But
They
I-
both said things that
They
weren't
both.
true.
Yeah, they both did
But,
say
like,
things.
yeah, but I mean, like,
actual.
I get it, but Joe was like, way
They
more.
debunked 9 factual things. I think that's what the number was 9. But the thing about
Of-
Trump is
of who?
of
From who?
of Biden.
Yeah.
So the thing I wish that
Okay.
Trump wouldn't do a lot, and I feel like he would get a lot less hate because he's just like, instead of like, yeah, we had a great economy. I feel like he's like, it was the biggest. It
Oh,
was the best.
grandiose?
It was just like
Yeah.
everything is like
The
just this
biggest,
grandiose thing, and I
best.
get that's who he is, but like to a certain degree, like, you know, I bet you 100%, dude, that his campaign team is like, listen, don't be fucking interrupting. Don't be saying
100%.
anything. Let him talk.
Don't say
because
billions.
he's gonna do the job for you.
Don't say trillions.
Well, that's kind of what happened.
That's
Other
exactly
than
what
those
happened.
few little things, Trump being reserved for once in his life.
Yeah,
Let us just
the facial expressions, though,
dude,
dude.
the
Yeah.
kill shot. We'll talk about that. That's what everyone's calling this part. And it's when Joe was talking about the border and asylum officers and just couldn't get it out, man. There was another thing when he's talking about Medicare and he's like, we finally beat Medicare after he stumbled for the whole
Yeah.
time. They're like, thank you, Mr. President. And he's like, after he gets the kill shot, Trump said, or as it's happening, Trump says, looks at him when it was his turn. He's like, I don't know. He looks right at Joe, at his face, and says, I don't know what he just said. I don't think he knows what he just said.
I will say the dude is unironically funny.
Dude, it was
all
funny.
The time.
And then he continues without a beat. And the face that President Biden made was this, looking at former President Trump like this.
yeah,
Yeah.
And just spaced, dude.
Yeah.
Constantly spaced out, mouth open, breathing, just
it
mouth breathing.
it-
And his eyes, dude, would randomly get large, and like he finally understood something.
yeah.
And
That's
then it
where
was
I'm
nothing.
worried with all. Well, there was the lies were drastic. You
Mhm.
know,
Yeah, tell us about that. Do you know some of them?
the border.
The thing
you
is,
know, like
dude,
the
is
border
like
being,
I don't know if he thinks that he's lying or not. I'm not like
No, that's what
trying
I'm
to
gonna
defend
go
Biden,
into.
but I mean, like,
I feel
just
like his team is telling him
yeah,
these facts to manipulate him into thinking that he's doing great.
yeah.
Look at Jill after the debate.
Oh my gosh, the part you said, I did see that.
Yeah, where like
Go ahead and
Jill
say
is
it, please.
like,
This is in North Carolina. They fly to North Carolina
yes,
that
in
night,
Raleigh.
and then I believe that morning they have it. Maybe it was that night. I think it was the morning. And go ahead. What does she say to him?
Oh yes, you did a great job, Joe. You answered all the questions correctly. And he was
CNN
like,
CNN grabbed that. No, excuse me. This was Fox. Fox grabbed
grabbed
these, and one of them was a former teacher, and she's like, "That is how I talk to my
yeah.
students."
Yeah.
And
And then
she's like, "That's how I talk to my children."
Yeah.
but right,
You did it.
there-
You answered all the questions, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Who's a liar? Trump.
There was the one
Like,
where
I
he
think
was-
that's what she said over
There
and
was
over. and
one
over.
where he was walking to Marine One, and the reporters stop him, and it sounds like
Random.
he's saying like my butt's been wiped, and they're like, "All right, dude."
Was that recent? I didn't
No,
know.
this was
I
like
saw he keeps walking the wrong way.
he
Or
does that a
reads
lot.
Reads the
Yeah.
teleprompter like the
Well,
this is the end.
Mhm.
Even at the end of the debate, I don't know if you've seen it when Jill helped him off the stage.
The two
Oh
steps.
my gosh,
Yeah,
dude!
because he was actually
Dude,
Trump walked
Just
off,
the fact that Trump walked on with that much
Yeah.
power,
and then Jill
and
had to go up there and said, "Come on this way," like hold
walks
his
him down
hand.
the stairs, dude,
And I'm like,
and it takes forever.
You
Yeah,
gotta.
it does
I
take
mean, like,
forever.
I think to some degree, though, I think that Donald Trump is showing maybe some sort of empathy to that. You have to at some point.
I
dude.
think he was.
I think you need to be a little
Yeah.
bit empathetic to that
did he say did he say something in the debate? I can't remember, but I think he said something that I kind of feel sorry for him. Maybe he didn't say that, but I thought.
I think that he has
about
so
his
much
cognition.
insider information. I think that he knows so much about what's going on that, everyone's like, oh, well, Joe Biden's planted. He's being planted there on purpose, and yada 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 yada. And if that's the case, it's probably why he just didn't go up there and do his normal thing where he's just like, your kids, your kid smokes crack and this and that, because that's what he was doing before. He almost did do that, but he reeled it in. He reeled it in.
What part was that? I was trying to remember.
Halfway, quarter. It was in the first half.
What was he saying?
About the laptop.
He's like the laptop thing and all that stuff, and he reeled it in really quick though, because he realized he was.
But then Joe goes off. My son's not a sucker. Those who serve our country aren't suckers.
Well, what he was talking about is when he
and
fired.
It was a fake magazine thing.
When he fired that general, that's what he was talking about.
Right. And I remember that because I was like, no way. And you know what? The craziest thing. Okay, I hope I'm not overstepping here, but we've both been in a court system where we're testifying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because of the professions we had, and one of the things that you do is you have to speak to a judge, the trier, or the jury, and you've got to convince them. And it really is just that. They can just not like you, and you lose the case. That happens a lot. And being convincing is huge, and being confident is huge. And one of the things that I saw was there wasn't.
Yeah.
With Joe. There just constantly wasn't it being convincing. And when Trump is there protecting himself from this very nasty thing that is said about him, and if he did it, like, absolutely should never be president, saying that they're suckers for dying at a funeral, and he flips the script real quick and calmly says, that's not true. I have 9 or whatever people who said that wasn't true who were there, and this I fired that guy and he didn't like me anyway. But then he says, why would I, knowing who I am in that environment, ever say something like that? Basically, common sense says this isn't a good decision, and he's all about financial decisions, saying the right thing. And why would? And I was like, you know what? The way he said that, I believe that he didn't say it because he was confident. And this goes back to what I was saying about the jury and stuff. Why would I say it? It doesn't make sense to say it in that environment. I don't think anyone would say that in that environment, much less me, knowing what I have to lose. Dude, and I was sold. I was like, okay, well, I guess he didn't say it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you felt that right after that, where he challenged
I don't believe any
Biden,
politicians.
Like challenged Biden, like, why don't you fire anybody, Like, look at the
he
border.
didn't fire anyone, is what he's saying.
And it's like, why don't you fire somebody?
That's kind of leading back to why we have this, everybody gets a trophy award, in this country right now. Like, you could be put in a position of power and absolutely derail something. Like, look at what happens to a lot of these Fortune 500 companies. Yeah. They put somebody in charge and just shits it.
I mean, we could talk all about even when Bud Light did that thing, and they just
Tractor Supply, dude.
Yes,
Tractor Supply. That's crazy to me.
Insane.
Just sell air compressors.
Dude, you got to think about
did come back
your clientele, dude. Yeah, but I mean, at that point, it's done.
So did Bud Light.
The problem is that, like, you can't
know who you're selling to. Man.
Yeah, it's that's the problem. That's what I'm saying is they're putting these people out of college in these companies.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, you're going to be our marketing manager. We're going to pay you $15 million a year, sell our products. And then they're like, well, what we need to do is target, all this other stuff that has absolutely nothing to do with Tractor Supply.
I thought the one of the questions that they asked was serious, and they said they dumbed it down. They said, hey, Mr. President, when you came in here, let's just say the bag of groceries was $100. That same bag of groceries is $120. So what's going on? I mean, he stumbled around it and never really answered it. Oh, we'll get there. Well, dude, how are we getting there? Yeah. That's a huge, dude. Yeah. 25%. That's high.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
3 times more, depending on what the item is.
And the sucker thing, when he got real strong about that, it's just kind of problematic for him. If you're going to be angry or be aggressive in response to something or passionate, and then it falls flat on its face because it wasn't correct, that looks really bad, man. It's like you chose the very wrong moment to go here. And to do that sucker thing, and then Trump, like, calmly is like, man, that was fake. Here's why.
You know,
Yeah.
I thought that was devastating. I mean, they're saying
Yeah.
other things are devastating. I thought that was devastating, man.
Yeah.
you know, with the stuff with Ukraine and like just the world's view.
Yeah.
That's one thing Biden's doing horrible at.
He couldn't answer.
He couldn't answer. He's not doing anything for
And he
Russia,
says Article
Ukraine,
5.
Israel, Korea. Like, this is insane.
Well, he had made a comment that every other country respects us. Nobody's got any beef with us, and it's like that's the complete opposite. Like
Yeah.
Kim Jong Un's planning on sending 100,000 troops to Ukraine
Yeah.
to
They
back
just
Russian
put
forces.
China's
a
blocking the
nuclear
US dollar.
submarine at Cuba, which was the beginning
Yeah.
of the missile.
Saudi
Cuban Missile
Arabia
Crisis
stopped
back in the day.
dealing in the dollar for oil.
Okay, yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, like this is
The
this-
Black
this
Sea
is real
lockdowns?
stuff, you know?
Yeah, this is not
BRICS?
a joke.
Like, we really do need Trump to at least
And-
give that
Yeah.
attitude again to
Yeah.
the situation, because he visited North Korea.
Did he
think
say?
you gotta-
Was he talking about Iran when he said Trump said they were broke?
Yes,
Was that?
Mhm.
yes.
I mean, dude, I'm not saying that he's wrong, but I don't know enough. But I was like, he sounded really certain that this really just wouldn't have happened because
No, yeah.
we
well,
would
they-
kept it broke.
How much money did they send on through?
Dude, I don't know,
Over
but
$1
it
billion?
costs a ton of money to do terrorism. I had a college class with it was like narco terrorism.
Why are you pointing at me? I'm not a terrorist, dude.
Yeah.
I'm
it costs
I'm
money,
just
right?
associating
Am I right?
our past lives. And narco terrorism is a huge thing. Because it takes using drugs to traffic across the border so you could fund your terrorism. It costs a lot of money
So much money.
to do terrorism. And I was like, man, I wonder. I don't know enough about that, but I was like, man, he's just hitting them left and right. And then the Roe v. Wade thing, Biden could not seem to have a very
I didn't
clear
see that
answer.
part.
He asked him multiple times about it, man. He said,
Yeah.
so you're for them late term. Well, and he doesn't really answer.
He does.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh well, it's already implemented. It says you have the first stage, second stage, or third stage. It makes sense."
Yeah, and then he's sitting there
Mhm.
trying.
I
I mean,
didn't
he
see
couldn't
that.
even do normal details, and then he tried to get in the details of trimesters. I was like, bro, that's
Or
a
if it's
rabbit
like
hole.
if rape is involved, and
Yeah.
you start talking about family and like sisters.
Oh, siblings.
Yeah, and like
He talked about what happens when there's these siblings who, what if you're having a child with your brother or sister
Sister.
or something like that. I was like,
I didn't
what
see
are
it.
you saying,
I need
man?
to go back and watch that part.
yeah,
I
it was the first was
Maybe that happens like 10 times a year. I don't know. Depends on where you're
don't
at.
go to the
I guess.
mountains.
West Virginia, man.
It's
no offense.
It's further south.
For there.
I think that though if Biden doesn't step down
Georgia.
and he continues this, that it'll be a landslide victory for Donald Trump.
I think
Yeah.
I think that first debate. So
I don't
my-
think you'll see a second one.
My understanding. Well, he
His
said he'll do it in
campaign-
September,
September. His campaign
September.
manager said September.
and said he's going to continue.
That's crazy
it's
to
insane.
me.
No,
This is the earliest one.
you seen the CNN poll number after the debate?
Mm-mm.
No,
67% for Trump, 33 for Biden on CNN.
on CNN.
Yeah.
On CNN. I
Gosh
couldn't believe. I was
almighty,
like, what?
dude.
Isn't it crazy though that we're saying that about major news networks? Like how we as Americans know who's biased to who.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Well,
so
yeah.
clear.
Right? So
they
it's
talk-
like,
they-
okay,
they talk
so
about
I
it.
compare it all the time to like when you were a kid and you go ask your dad something and he'd be like, no. And then you go ask your mom and she's like, well, what did dad say?
Yeah.
And he's like, I said,
Price
yeah.
shopping.
I
Yep.
said, yeah, right? You know
That's
what I
a good
mean? Like, it's
example.
like
Yeah.
you
You
go
know where you get your guests from.
You know where you're gonna get where you
Mhm.
get the information you want to hear at,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
what is happening all the time now. You
And
go to
then-
places
yeah.
where you get the information from. Like nobody wants to get the or be told they made the wrong choice.
And
you
now
know?
mom's saying no and dad's saying no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Which is crazy, man. I thought it was one of. I hate that we're having it. I hate that these are our candidates. But at this point, man, we cannot have someone who is staring off into space on the most important day
Mhm.
of their next possible 4 years.
He trained at Camp David for a week,
Doing what?
preparing for this, supposedly.
Well, they should give him some
Seriously.
sleep, dude.
That's crazy, right?
It's just
7
weird.
to 10 days.
I don't necessarily feel bad for
He's
him.
like lifting weights and he's deadlifting.
I'm preparing for this.
Yeah, it's
fight.
like the wrong thing he was doing.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
mental exercises.
Like most
So
of them are
you
strong.
said you felt bad for him, and I didn't want to say it necessarily, but I don't think I feel bad for him, and the reason is, he's 84. Is that the number?
I think he's 86.
86, yes.
Okay, I thought it was
Yes.
84. Even
We're
worse.
probably all wrong, but he's very
Oh,
well.
he's
Trump's
up there.
82.
I thought he was in
He's-
78.
No, he's 82.
Okay, Trump's up. Trump's up there.
Yeah.
I mean, still, it's kind of getting
You know
annoying
what's
that
how come we
all
don't have
these-
a
I know. That's what I was going to say.
a president that's not like in their 40s or 50s?
You know what's actually insane? You know
And I
Bill
have a
Clinton?
rebuttal to that, by the way.
Bill Clinton? He's younger than both.
He looks,
looks
so
like Skeletor
old right now,
yeah,
dude.
Bill
looks like
Clinton is younger
Skeletor.
than
You know,
Trump.
I saw. It reminds me of that time that there was a
He-Man.
there was a date.
He's 78. Trump is 78.
78. Yeah. Okay.
There's no way. No, he's
yeah,
He is, yeah.
I think he is.
He was born in
Yeah.
1946.
Yeah,
God.
He's
old.
He's old.
So
But
I-
the war was over.
I was
you know?
talking.
No,
I
With
was
Joe, the war was still in
Still
effect.
going on.
I was talking with my father-in-law about this exact thing, and this was months and months ago. And I had said, I was like, "Well, Dad, what do you think about Vivek from Miami?" And he's like, he's too young. He doesn't have enough experience. I'm like, Dad, he's
Dude,
worth
he's
worth
I like him,
$500
man.
million.
I like him. He's
So they
smart.
debunked a lot of what he said. Like he ripped off a bunch of Obama speeches.
Ah, crap.
Yeah, like he had ripped off a bunch of.
Obama was a fantastic speaker, dude.
Oh,
he
dude,
was
he was
the
my
best.
God, dude.
phenomenal. He still is a phenomenal
He's
public
great.
speaker.
I
great.
watched his
no matter what he
debate
did.
with-
Yeah.
what was it? What's the Romney?
Yeah, Mitt Romney.
Romney, yes.
Yeah.
Their debate between the two?
Dude, Romney was really good
That
too,
was
man.
one.
Yeah, they're
That was some like
I'm-
prime ribs right there, dude.
I
It
met.
was insane how good that debate
his
was.
underwear,
Like they were
though.
shaking hands,
Yeah. He's a
laughing
Mormon.
with each other. I'm like, dude, what is this? This is crazy.
I would like to know more about them.
But
Anyway,
that's a
separate
lot of
topic.
it. So like a lot of your voter base thinks like if you're not like upper 70s, early 80s, that you don't have the life experience, and I think that.
That makes sense, but let's do 60.
So like, but like the younger you are, I think the more in tune you are with the working class.
Or, yeah, maybe in the middle.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's
Okay, so
it's-
what? 80, 90. So let's do 45.
Right.
What-
well,
what's the-
you have to
how
be
old-
35.
I think
35
I
to
think
be-
it's more than that.
No,
dude.
Anthony, how old do you have to
I
be
think it's
to
in the 40s.
be a president? It's
It's
35.
40s? No,
Yeah, it's
I
43.
think it's 40. I'll look it
Can
up
you
real quick. Let me look. Let's see.
I'm pretty sure it's 35.
Look that up. Anthony? That's our Anthony guy. in
Yeah,
there.
it's Jamie.
Jamie. Hey, Jamie,
Pull
can you
that
look that up? Pull that up. Get all mean with him like Joe does.
I cannot wait. Did Joe Rogan post a podcast?
Is it
about
46
this?
or is it 43?
35, you're right.
Oh my gosh, okay, so 1-1. Sorry guys. Yeah, I know.
You
I was going
suck.
to tell you that Hillary Clinton, the debate with him, I really like this question, man. You learn a lot about if someone's reasonable by asking them a question to describe something negative about someone that they like or positive about someone that they hate. And she says, and this is
I
during the
saw
debate,
that.
talks about his children, and she was very sincere, I think, regardless of her BlackBerry being, on or not. All right. So he said, she's a fighter. She doesn't back down. And I really respect that about her. And the way he said it, dude, was so freaking genuine.
Yeah.
I was like,
I think
There's something there.
So like one thing I like about this, not to cut you off, Anthony, but one thing
not to cut you off, but I'm gonna do
so
it
like
again.
this has happened a couple times. So there was like this little kid who was really sick, and no airline would fly him, and Trump for some whatever reason found and this you can look this up, it's true. Trump somehow found out about this and dispatched his private jet to fly this kid back to the States to get the treatment that he needed.
Yeah. I thought you
He's
said
he's
dispatch the kid. I was really concerned there, dude. I was like,
hey, he sent a team to dispatch the kid. Holy shit.
yeah, I didn't know where you were going with that.
But he's done a bunch of stuff like that, man.
Well, I think he does, and it may be PR, and it may be just, dude. I
Well,
think
this
when
was
you
this was
just like to
before
do
he
things.
ran for the first time.
Well, I mean, in general, like
Yeah,
he's
well.
he's a money man, and doing good things to people.
Yeah.
It looks pretty good.
Yeah.
But
Got to spend it, otherwise the government takes it.
I think there is, when you have that much money, I don't know that you can afford to not be good in some aspect.
I think that a lot of people don't do that. I don't
Really?
ever hear
Like
about
Nancy?
like
What's
what's
Nancy?
the dude that owns Microsoft, Bill Gates. I don't ever
Yeah.
hear about him doing shit like that.
His son, holy cow, we'll have to do this later, but his son has gone to Ukraine and is funding a ton of stuff, just his personal money,
Yeah, shit.
just dumping it in there. I mean, humanitarian
yeah.
stuff, he's really big into it. Yeah, and you would never know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's not Bill Gates, or maybe it's Warren Buffett. It's one of the big guys.
Yeah.
One of them.
I was very confident until I started thinking about Warren Buffett. But anyway, Brian Luss was
WB.
talking about him, and it was amazing. But anyway, with the power comes responsibility, right?
Yeah.
To the people. So
What's Peter Parker's Uncle Ben? It's very Uncle Ben over here.
Uncle Ben.
don't get me shot, man. I don't want to die, dude.
Uncle
please.
Ben.
So yeah, I think
take
I thought
this-
the Border Patrol thing was crazy, man. We're getting close to the end probably here,
Oh,
but
yeah.
that Border
The-
Patrol where Biden's like they
Well-
endorsed me, and then the union's like
union-
immediate.
Well-
I couldn't believe it because you were telling me, and I
Yeah.
looked it up on X, and it was like we did not and will never
Yeah.
endorse Joe Biden. I was like, oh my gosh,
It's crazy, dude.
it was crazy.
No, it really was. It was.
He's like, oh, it really was.
It really was.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you guys think? I mean,
Well, that's what I
You know?
brought up earlier is the points that Joe did lie about were major and were debunked instantly.
border crossing,
The border, the
inflation,
inflation,
what he received from Trump as
Yes,
far as
yes.
condition.
Medicaid. You know,
Yep.
it was like every little thing.
We beat Medicaid or
Yeah.
Medicare.
Yeah, then he was like,
What do you
yeah,
mean
that's right,
beat
they
it? What are you
beat it. They
talking
beat
about?
it into
Yeah.
the ground. I was
Yeah,
like,
beat-
damn.
beating the
Trump
ground
said that?
out. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Right
I
after
didn't
it
even
was
see-
awesome.
Yeah, after he said that, he's like, well, they did beat Medicaid. They beat it into the ground or something. Just
It was
something
Wow.
to that effect.
He's
But
so
it was
sly
it was
sometimes,
so
man.
many things back to back to back, and I was like, he has to be fed these lies by his team to make him feel
Yeah.
good, like how Jill did him. You know, like you
Mhm.
did a great job. You answered all the
I
questions.
just don't
And I'm
feel.
like,
You said
wow.
earlier that you felt bad
Woo.
for him, and I don't feel bad for Joe. Now, I don't wish anything negative on someone,
Mhm.
especially health. But like, I think that these we're dealing with such a. Maybe Trump is super corrupt in his own way too.
Yeah.
But the drain the swamp and like just the corruption, I really think we're riddled. I mean, we had the Charlotte PD guy taking money. It's national news. We just at the lower level, at the high level, we are so corrupt,
Right now we are
and
the
it's
worst. we've ever been.
obnoxious, dude.
It
Right
is.
now it's the worst. It's been in a long
You can
time.
weaponize the FBI or whoever.
You know,
I don't like that Trump didn't necessarily denounce the January 6th thing fully. He did. He did at one point. He says, no, it's not right on the second round.
Yeah.
But still,
He's
I've-
also answered that same question, though, like 500,000
What did you
times.
see what the
but just
Supreme
not
Court
there.
came out yesterday and said?
No.
They pretty much voted that it was against the law for the Department of Justice to prosecute anyone for January 6th.
That's not true. Well, I mean that. So there was a dude from Winston. There was
Yeah.
a guy
No,
from
really,
Winston
yeah.
who got locked
Supreme
up for
Court
that.
said that?
Like
No,
he
this
got
was
convicted
yesterday.
from
No,
it.
they're gonna be
Who
releasing
did?
all
Say,
that one
say it again? This is way big
Yeah,
news.
yeah,
What?
yeah. So
What
you know
was
the
it?
January 6th. Who is it? The Department of Justice or somebody
Yeah.
who prosecutes
Yeah.
whatever.
Okay.
The DOJ, is that right?
Department of
I don't know.
Justice, sure.
I don't know.
I mean, there's several
Uh,
divisions.
Yeah.
clue, bro.
But they
I
came
just
out
work here.
and said
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
that where is it at?
Take your time.
Yeah,
Take
we're
your
only,
time.
you know.
Pretty much
Not that much time.
saying that they were in the wrong to convict hundreds of individuals under false accusations or whatnot.
Supposedly, this was actually in the debate. Trump said that Pelosi said it was actually her fault, that it fell on her shoulders. I don't know. I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear that either.
But that would be interesting.
'Cause I do.
I
remember
am
watching
kind of
that
confused
part.
why she was in there acting like she's going to die. But she's acting like she's going to die, but she's not in her office because her office was raided by these knuckleheads. I think it's wrong. I think it made us look so stupid. God, dude, how can you just do that? But I think they let him in some capacity. I
Yeah.
mean, if you're not shooting people that are going inside the Capitol,
Right
which
here,
they shot that
they
one Air
said
Force vet
the
girl.
Supreme
but that's
Court
it.
says prosecutors overstepped with the January 6th charge of 1,430 people. They overstepped, and then they
Was there
ruled
really 1,400 people inside the Capitol?
1,460 people
Inside of
Right,
the
not
Capitol?
inside, no.
I don't think so.
No, they
I
were
don't
just
think
people.
so
They were
at
just
all.
getting people
There was
at
that
point.
dude that was like wearing like the
Viking
bison,
stuff?
the
Yeah,
bison
he was let
head,
go. He was let go.
and he was like being
Yeah, he did.
escorted through there on video by the Capitol Police, just like bullshitting with him and talking like he's wearing
And
like this
then
stupid outfit.
Well, no one had
ruled-
weapons, but still,
Yeah,
it was
no,
like
exactly.
crazy.
yeah.
The
Crazy.
obstruction charge where they destroyed evidence in favor of the defendants. So now the Supreme Court is going against people who's destroyed or deleted evidence to support the January 6th defendants.
Yeah.
Such a topic, man.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That is such a
But,
nasty stain.
but
on
actually,
us.
going back to what you said about the age,
And we should
you know, like
go ahead.
Kennedy was 43 when he was president. Bill
Mhm.
Clinton 46. Obama 47. You know, like
Obama
We've
got old
had-
quick though, dude.
he did
He
quick.
did. He did.
He did. But
Yeah.
this was like, you know, we've had young presidents or younger presidents,
Yeah.
and
You're
they
right.
seem very
I-
successful.
I think
Yeah.
to the point though,
Well,
it's
I did not. Okay.
this is
That's.
not a
I guess
secret
that's successful
passageway.
depending on what your
Did he-
values
well,
are.
when
on
he
this.
when he got impeached, did he have to leave the White House?
No.
Or he just
No.
chilled till his
Yeah, I
term
mean,
was over.
an impeachment doesn't necessarily mean you have to leave. We
Yeah.
could get on that another time,
Yeah,
but it's
well,
like,
yeah.
I would also like at some point, maybe a good podcast would be the Afghanistan thing, leaving Afghanistan the way we did. I
Oh
think
yeah, that was a
when
crazy
Trump
talking point in
said,
there.
when he said that is the single most embarrassing move we've ever made,
Yeah.
I kind of think in a way he's right.
It is.
In a way,
Yeah.
It was.
so that might be a good one.
Yeah, I mean they
Reach
took
out to some people.
what did they took him less than 24 hours to retake the country once we
Oh,
pulled out.
Instantly, as soon as we
Yeah.
left,
They
as
were-
we were leaving,
they
out,
were
I think they
letting
were
us
at the
leave.
gate. Yeah, they were letting
There's
us leave.
guys
Yeah.
flying off the plane. That'll be a good one. We'll go over that. If you were there or know someone who was there, please write us.
if
we'd
you were
like to
on the
pick your brain.
ground during that,
If you
that
were
exit.
in the air momentarily flying off that thing, give us a call. Too much? Sorry. All right. Thank you for hanging in there with us. This was awesome. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, dude. Let us
Were we
know.
right? Were we wrong?
It was a crazy debate, no matter
was
what.
insane.
Yeah,
but
it was one for the books, that's for sure.
It was.
We good?
We're good.
We'll see you
Dudes,
next
let's do
time.
it. All right.
Thanks for
See you
joining.
guys.
Like,
Peace.
subscribe, okay? See ya.